Okay, everybody, you had a chance last week to look at problem 114. I've gotten a few of those files in. And remember, I'm just reviewing those. I'm reviewing those so that I can see that you're trying. And then what I'll do is I'll work on showing you how I would work on that problem. And so this is the, the screen that shows you Whistler Corporation financial statements, the beginning point of that problem. Part A said, right, prepare a sources and uses statement for fiscal 2014, and part B would be to prepare a cash flow statement, right? So now, in order to do that, what we're going to do, we need to create a column here. I'm going to call changes, okay? And you know what? I'll even put an underline. Let's extend the border there. Let's extend the border. This one is going to extend, just so I can create kind of a neat looking sheet. Down here, we'll do our top and double bottom. Well, okay, so the authors present their data a little bit differently than I would. That's okay. So I'll create these bottom borders just to get things lined up, okay? And so they're doing the top and thick bottom. That's what they're doing there? Yeah, so let me do that. Top and thick bottom. Just so everything kind of looks generally neat. All right. So for the first step here, you need to put into place these changes. So I'm going to add a column. This is relatively easy, right? I'm going to take a function, so set it up as an equal sign. Okay, I'm going to do D9, right, the fiscal 2014, right, minus C9, showing me, right, that see how cash has increased by 29,200, right? And what we'll do, we just need to run that down that column there. Oh, okay, so I guess I should do my borders afterwards. All right, that's fine. Let's see, the same math, so I'm going to just copy that cell. I'm going to do that across the non-current assets, okay? So we'll go straight down. This is all we're interested in is the changes between the years, not the summary of the changes, okay? So I've got to pause. Okay, had to deal with a brief phone call. Now here we go. We're going to take that same function. See, I've got it copied from cell E9. I'm going to paste that function in. Then, let's see, same thing with current liabilities. Control V. Long-term debt change, right? Control V. Actually, we're going to go, I think I need the total current liabilities. Control V, do that there. We need the total liabilities to show a change. And here, we're going to run down that way. All right, so just so that we can stay a little bit clear, I'll put in the proper borders here, okay? So some bottom borders just help to keep everything kind of on our eye line, okay? Bottom borders, all right. So the changes step helps you with part A, all right? So let's call this A. Let's say sources and uses. Let's also make that bold, right? So we're going to need to know our sources of cash. Make that following list, right? So I have a reduction in inventories that I need to track, increase in accumulated depreciation, okay? And we need to see the increase in taxes payable. What else is a source of cash, right? An increase in long-term debt. It's a pretty obvious source, right? And increase in common stock. Right, you sold some stock, so you get some cash out of that. And we had some retained earnings. That's going to go into cash as a source of cash. Right, so the reduction in inventories, I have to look over to the inventories. Okay. So this is an E11. Okay, E11. See that inventory drop from 49,000 to 36,500. See, that's a change of 12,500. So that reduction in inventory, that I got to put in place as minus E11. Okay, so I have a $12,500 source of cash because I've sold some goods, right? So it's like the issue of asset transformation. So inventories were sold, cash came in. I got to, let's see, accumulated depreciation is on line 18. So this is equal to the negative of the accumulated depreciation. So there's some cash, 1,400. Let's see, taxes payable. That is down on line 20. Where is it? 24. So now that one's just E24. Oops, equals E24. I'm just targeting the source data across the sheet there, right? The long-term debt, so that's E27, 33.9, right? Common stock, that's line 30, so that equals E30, okay? Let's see, the increase in retained earnings, right? So that is way down on the income statement, but you also see it under retained earnings, right? So you can see here, 47,200. Notice that that's an addition to retained earnings on the income statement. I could use either cell. I'll target line E31. Right. So we can then take the total of sources of cash. Okay. And this will be just the sum of that column, right? So I'll take the sum key. So I got 157.7, and I'll just put a bottom border there. Okay. Then I have uses of cash. Let's make this like that. Right. So increase in cash. Use increase in accounts receivable. Oops. There you go. Okay. Increase in buildings. Right. If you put in place buildings, you're using cash, right? Increase in equipment. Need that. What else is here on the sheet is anytime you have a reduction in accounts payable, you've used cash to put that reduction in place. So easy enough, right? The cash line item is E9, so that equals E9. Accounts receivable, that's E10. Let's see, buildings is E15. Let's see, equipment, okay, so that's E16. And then see the reduction in the accounts payable. By reducing accounts payable, I'm using cash. Now, see the change is negative, right? That's because of the way we reduced the accounts receivable across time, right? Between 2013 and 2014, I used 22,100 in cash, to make that accounts payable decrease take place, right? So I've got to set that up as a negative of this negative value here, right? V23, and that's all the uses of cash in play, okay? So we'll go up and let's put into place total uses of cash, and the sum keys handy, and there we have it, 157,700. Right? I'll also put a border there so it's kind of straightforward. Need a bottom border. All right, so that's part A, sources and uses of cash. B is the cash flow statement. Now, I'll save us a little bit of time here. I have another sheet that I built that lists all of the line items I ought to have here for my operating activities, investment and financing activities, right? So I got to go find it. So I'll stop. Instead of hunting for a file randomly, I'll stop, or I'll pause for a second. Okay, so I put in place my operating activities, okay, my investing activities, my financing activities, and this is a statement that is for, as the problem asks, right, for fiscal year 2014. All right, so let's label this column 2014. Let's make it bold and underlined. All right. So net income is line C44. See, this net income is on the income statement, right? So equals C44. Let's see. You have to add back depreciation expenses. Now it's listed here at negative 1,400, so I have to add that back. So I got to convert that negative, right, into a positive. So there's 1,400. Let's see here. Let's actually turn on. Let's turn on the dollar, US dollar function there just for fun. And I'll also show you that you can change, you don't need all the decimals there, right? So you can actually decrease the decimals. It's thinking, not working today, is it? It must be because of the way I set up the sheet. Whatever. So let's see, we got to then look, so I'm looking at my hard copy so I can scan. This is an increase or a decrease in receivables. So receivables was in line 20. No, was it? Oh, 39. Line. Okay, so line 20. No, I didn't. Here's this. See this 43,100. Okay, so that's an increase. So when you increase receivables, right, you are you're delaying the receipt of cash, right? So by increasing receivables and delaying the use of cash, I've got to take that 43,100 and make it a negative, right? So there's my 43.1. Then I have an increase or a decrease in inventories. The reduction in inventories around 12.5. All right, so a decrease. See, it's meaning I got some actual cash coming out of that deal, and it's good, right? So what else from operatings? All right, so either an increase or a decrease in other current assets. Now there wasn't anything in the sheet that came under the other category in this regard, okay? Then I either have an increase or decrease in the accounts payable. So I got to find accounts payable. See how up here it's in J line 12, right? So wait, no, sorry, accounts payable, blah blah. My bad. Here it is. J23, right? So got 22.1. So that's a reduction. Okay, so decrease is, see how it's in this parentheses, right? So I've got to make sure that that positive reduction value is a negative in my cash flow statement. Okay. See, by reducing accounts payable, I'm using up cash, right? So I've got to have a negative cash number there, negative 22,100. Okay. Let's see, then income taxes payable, that's up here. See, an increase in the taxes payable. This 10,700 is, I gotta put that in play. Okay. All right, investing activity. So I actually had an increase in buildings at 60, right? So I've got to have outflows of cash there. So I got to make this 61,000 negative. It's a use of cash. Or an increase and decrease in equipment. The equipment increased also, so I've got to have that as a negative in my cash flow statement. And right, we can just take the sum of the cash flow from investing, right? Oh, I should have the sum of the cash flow from operations also, so let's do that. I'll type out my sum. 28.6. And we can just do a simple additive function right there for 63.3, negative 63.3, right? Let's see. Increase in long-term debt. Let's see. Long-term debt increased by 33.9. So that's J13. And always double check. Make sure you're lining up that number matches the increase in long-term debt. Increase in long-term debt, right? Let's see. We also increased common stock sales, 52,000. So that's on line J. This is line J14. Should say 52, and it does. And we got to look for dividends that were paid. Dividends paid, that's on line 45, column C, right? See that 22,000? So I got to take that 22,000 as some money we used paying our stockholders. And now we see our cash flow from our financing dimension, right? So that's just the sum of those, 63.9, okay? Now the net change in cash, so I got to go to the cash flow from operations up here in J35, cash flow from operations. So that's 28,600. That added in some cash, right? Then I have some investment activities here on J39, okay? So I got to add that. And cash flow from financing. So I had some long-term debt come up. I had some money come from common stock, and I also paid my stockholders, right? So I have the 63,900 here. So there's my net change in cash, 29,200. 29,200. Just highlighting that. Let me make that a yellow bucket, and notice the 29,200. See how that came up here under the cash. This is a way to double check, make sure I've got all my numbers in order. Okay, so that's good news. I have the 29,200 all accounted for. The beginning cash balance was 47.5. So I just have to kind of go back up here. Okay. The ending cash balance is, right? So you take, you make this, put a little underline, just so we can see that's bottom border, right? So I got to do a couple bottom borders here, just so we keep our numbers kind of separated out. The totals. We got one more cash flow right here. This one here. So bottom border. Let's double check. 628, 63, 63.9. Yep. Okay. So see, the ending cash balance is the sum of the beginning cash balance and net change in cash. 76,700. And let's highlight that. 76,700. Let's make that guy Let's make him not red because that's scary on a balance sheet. That's nice and green, right? 76.7, see how that aligns to the 2014, right? So there's the answer to problem 14. Let me save that guy. Let's call this HIG1 14 answered in my documents. I'm going to put this little video up so you can follow along and try to construct your sheet or just review what you did to see how things worked, at least in the way you attempted it.